Let's try to find a spot. Are we up and running? All right. So first and foremost, I want to thank everyone for coming out today. My name is Stephen Hatchett. I am the District Attorney General for the 10th Judicial District, which covers Bradley, McMinn, Monroe, and Polk County. The purpose of this press conference is very straightforward. We intend to find and bring to justice the gentleman on that reward poster, Nicholas Wayne Hamlet. Now, first, Mr. Hamlet is entitled to due process. He is presumed innocent, and we intend to get him into court, and we intend to have that due process be applied, and we intend to see that justice gets done in this case. There will be some questions that the media may have that will not get answered. That's simply the nature of these kind of cases. But what we do ask, and the main reason for doing this, is to ask for the media's help, to ask for the public's help in finding Mr. Hamlet. We do consider Mr. Hamlet to be dangerous, and we certainly are going to expend every resource available to see that he is taken into custody and brought into a court of law. The people that you see up here, you're going to hear from some of them, have worked a massive amount of time on this case. They have spent a tremendous amount of effort, and it is a testament to our law enforcement community, the amount of resources that have been expended to bring Mr. Hamlet to justice. As you hear from these gentlemen, please keep in mind what I said. There will be some questions that simply cannot be answered. We're not trying to be rude. We're not trying to withhold information. But this is a very serious matter. These are very serious charges, and it is a very serious situation. So we are asking, we are imploring the public to help us find Nicholas Wayne Hamlet. I'm going to turn it over to Sheriff Jones. He is going to go through some of the facts with you, but again, if there are questions that he cannot answer, if you see me step up and say, Sheriff, you can't answer that, we're not trying to hide anything. We just need this man brought into custody. We need him brought into court. We need him tried, and everything we do is directed to that purpose. So I'm going to turn it over to Sheriff Tommy Jones.
Again, I'd like to echo what the General says. We appreciate you taking time to come for this press release. We are needing your assistance, the public's assistance, in the location of Mr. Hamlet. How this began was on Friday, October 18th, 2024, at around 11:34 p.m. The Monroe County E911 Center received a transfer call from Polk County 911 in reference to a distressed hiker claiming to be Mr. Brandon Andrade. He advised the dispatch that he had fallen off of a cliff while being ran by a bear. The distressed caller claimed that he was injured and was partly in the water. The call had been pinged in the area of the Charles Hall Bridge on the Charahola Skyway, Telco Plains. A deceased male was located with the identification of Mr. Brandon Christopher Andrade on his person. The detectives of the Monroe County Sheriff's Office, Criminal Investigation Division, and Violent Crime Task Force reviewed the scene, and after further investigation determined that the deceased subject was not Brandon Andrade, and that the identification had been stolen and used in multiple other occasions. Furthermore, a male that was using the stolen identification of Mr. Andrade was discovered to be Mr. Nicholas Wayne Hamlet, who is wanted out of the state of Alabama on a parole violation. An arrest warrant has been issued for Mr. Nicholas Wayne Hamlet for first-degree murder out of Monroe County, Tennessee. Mr. Hamlet is considered to be armed, and he is considered to be highly dangerous. If anyone has any information that could lead to the arrest of Mr. Hamlet, I highly advise you to contact your local law enforcement. Anyone that is known that is communicating with Mr. Hamlet in any way and not reporting to law enforcement will also face criminal charges. This is a very serious charge. There's a family suffering, and there's a violent, wanted person walking our streets. So with any information, we highly urge you to contact either the sheriff's office or just simply call 911. At this time, I'm going to turn this over to Special Agent in charge with FBI, Joseph Carrico. He'll give you the statements that he can and answer any questions, and we'll come back around when we're done to answer anything else.
Good afternoon. I'm Joe Carrico. I'm the Special Agent in charge of the FBI for the state of Tennessee. And we understand the concern that this case has raised, and we want the public to know that we're working closely with our local, state, and federal partners to ensure safety in our communities. Our teams remain dedicated to using every tool and resource at our disposal to support this investigation, and we thank the public for their support and vigilance and cooperation. It is crucial that we have this information as we move forward in this case. If you have any information on the whereabouts of Nicholas Wayne Hamlet, contact the sheriff's office, your 911 number, or call 1-800-CALL-FBI immediately and provide that information. And let me speak directly to Mr. Hamlet himself. Nick, let's end this peacefully. Turn yourself in, have your day in court. The long arm of the law has a long and huge reach, and we will find you, no matter where you hide. The deputies and investigators here now know their county well. The TBI agents know their state well. The FBI and the Marshal Service know the country well and have reach across the world, so there's nowhere to hide. So please take this opportunity to turn yourself in and have your day in court. I'll now turn it over to U.S. Marshal David Jolly for the Eastern District.
Thank you, Joe. Hello, everybody. My name is David Jolly. I'm the United States Marshal for the Eastern District of Tennessee. Today, the United States Marshals were asked to join this investigation. Our purpose in this investigation is very singular. That is to catch the fugitive. And the fugitive is Mr. Hamlet. You saw the wanted poster that's not up there right at this moment, but we have added $5,000 of reward money, so I'm announcing that will be out there. There's multiple ways that the public can contact law enforcement with any tips. They can call the FBI number, our number, the Marshal Service number, local Sheriff's Department, 1-800-TBI-FINE. There's any of those, all those tips will get filtered back to us, but our goal, to catch Mr. Hamlet, bring him to justice. Mr. Hamlet is an extremely dangerous individual. The facts of this case are very gruesome, and so let's get him in custody as soon as possible. Our greatest assist is the public, and we ask for any assistance at all from anybody, wherever they are, that may have seen this man to contact us right away so that we can bring Mr. Hamlet to justice.
If anyone has any questions, as the General said, there's going to be some things that we cannot answer. If you would, just to direct it to the person that you need to ask the question to.
This can be for anyone. What led investigators to believe that this was not injury resulting from a fall? How did you come to that conclusion?
Well, through the investigation, once the detectives laid eyes on the body, the injuries that that the deceased had was not consistent with a bear attack, was not consistent with a fall from a very high elevated cliff, and the forensic center confirmed that it was the cause of death was blunt force trauma. So it was very easy to rule out.
To the head, to the arm?
To the head, yes.
Yes, sir. Are you guys able to provide any detail about other instances where that identification branding and drawing was used? Is
So we are not disclosing that information at this time because, as we have made clear, we're trying to find Mr. Hamlet. We do not want to, and again, we're not trying to be rude about this or be anything other than doing what we're trying to do, which is get Mr. Hamlet into custody. So we do not want to disclose any information that could jeopardize or damage our ability to take Mr. Hamlet into custody.
Yeah, there's pieces of information that unfortunately we'll have to withhold at this time, just until we get Mr. Hamlet in custody, and then these guys will be able to release additional information about the investigation. It's the actual homicide investigation itself.
Can you release the name of the victim?
Not at this time, we can't.
Not at this time.
Is it your understanding that these two people knew each other in any capacity? Do you feel like this is an isolated incident, or is there still a real risk to the public, do you believe, at this time?
There is a risk to the public, a great risk to the public. The offender, he does have a history. He did know this victim. He has known him for quite a few months now. But yes, there is a risk to the public. This was not an isolated incident that by any means.
Do you expect that he's still in the state of Tennessee?
That I prefer not to answer.
Well, the answer to that question is we are looking at all possible angles of whether he could be in the state of Tennessee, in Monroe County, or outside of the state or elsewhere. So we're looking at every possible scenario of where he could be at this time. So we're keeping all options open on that one.
Are there other investigations or other open murder cases that Tennessee, elsewhere, that this could be tied to, that he's wanted for, could be wanted for?
Not that I know of.
Do you have anything on the motive of why this would happen?
We can't discuss that this time.
On the poster, it says he has ties to Tennessee. Is he a Monroe County resident?
No, he's not a Monroe County resident. He does have ties to East Tennessee, but not Monroe County.
He has considerable ties to other parts of the country. We know that he has lived in various parts of the United States, so we know he's a very mobile person. So that's why we're making this a very national manhunt, getting information out. We'll be going out across the country, probably on billboards, I'm quite certain, and things throughout the country, just because we do know that he has the potential to leave the state and go other places. Don't mean that he's left the state, but we know he has the potential because he has been a very mobile person who has lived in other parts of the state, of the country, and we know that he has a violent criminal history, violent background. So for that very reason, we consider him to be a very dangerous person, very dangerous to the public.
While he was here, do we know where he stayed at or where he lived at?
I'll have to leave that one to you guys right now, but
You mean hereby in Monroe County?
Yes, sir. Whenever this happened, do we know where he was staying at?
He never stayed in Monroe County. This was a visit to Monroe County, and so he never stayed here.
Can you talk about how unusual it is maybe that he was the one that called 911? I imagine that's something you guys don't hear about too often.
It was very unusual to receive the call that we did. And in my 26 years of doing this, we've never had this happen.
Have you guys already been in contact with like other state law enforcement outside of Tennessee, already cooperating? with them?
Yes, sir. He's been entered into NCIC, which goes nationwide. So all law enforcement across the nation is aware of this, of the charges, and of him being wanted.
we have been reaching out already to places that we know that he has a history and could potentially have contacts. So, and some of those are outside the state of Tennessee. So we're, like I said, we're looking at all possible avenues out there where, just based on what we do know about his past history. So, and some of that is outside the state of Tennessee.
Can you guys confirm whether or not that's Alabama law enforcement? Because the information you provide leads to a guy with the same name, same birth date, and from Alabama.
Yes, Alabama has been contacted.
One thing you haven't mentioned, why is he wanted person. All the agencies here performed a murder, but what is unique about this to bring all you out, all together? Why him? What's the specialty that he has to turn all this in?
So the reason we're all here, part of that question will get answered when Mr. Hamlet is in custody and Mr. Hamlet is brought into a court of law. And until that time, we can't really get into specifics, but what we do want the public to appreciate, which I think everyone does, and as you correctly observed, Mr. Boring, you have an awful lot of agencies standing here. This is because we do want to make clear that Mr. Hamlet is dangerous. The facts and circumstances of this case will get brought out in a court of law, but Mr. Hamlet is dangerous, and that's why these agencies are standing here.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
If I may, General, just with his history, Mr. Boring, his previous history of traveling from state to state. As you know, jurisdiction, we can only go so far. And that's where these guys have unlimited jurisdiction. So that's where we need their assistance, and they're providing great assistance. So there's no doubt he will be apprehended, hopefully peacefully, but that's his decision. So that's why you see these guys.
Do we know who was branded under it? Like who he was a person? Who was this person? The identity he stole?
We do know, yes.
Is there any connection you think that he has with Mr. Hamlet?
No connection whatsoever. So,
He was a victim as well.
yes.
Is he dead?
No, sir.
No.
Guys, if I'm understanding the reporting right, so this happened October 18th. But at least at our station, we got the first notice last Friday. What happened in that intervening time? How are you dealing with the John Doe? You're taking it to the forensic center.
We take our time. We don't jump to conclusions. Like I stated earlier, we received a call from the supposable victim of a hiking accident, and it took time to process that for the investigators, for the forensic center, to get us the facts that we needed before we jump ahead of ourselves and make a statement that's not true. I'll speak for the sheriff's office, no one else. We are very slow and deliberate on what we do. We want to have the facts in hand before we say or do anything. We have to. So that was the time frame that you see, is we wanted to confirm what we knew. And I'll say it this way: what you know, what you can prove in a court of law is two different things. And we can prove everything that we're saying.
Is the victim a resident of Monroe County? Is it East Tennessee resident?
He East Tennessee resident, yes.
We really appreciate all of you coming out. We really appreciate you covering this story. Again, we make no bones about it. Mr. Hamlet is dangerous. We need Mr. Hamlet in custody. He will receive due process. He will have his day in court. As the sheriff said, whether he comes in peacefully is entirely up to him. You heard the FBI, you heard the marshal call on him to turn himself in. I echo that call. He needs to turn himself in, and he needs to come to Monroe County to face justice. So again, thank you all. We truly appreciate it, and we truly appreciate all of the public's help in trying to find this man. Thank you.